hard to look like, even if you do work out, to be that kind of in shape is not, it's not natural.
Simon, the bald a-hole here. Thank you for joining me. As always, you wouldn't know I was a bald a-hole today because I've got my hood up because hoods are cool. But that's not what we're going to discuss. On this video, we are going to talk about Channing Tatum and the fact he's going to star in Magic Mike 3. Now, if you've never seen those videos before, I mean, I've never seen them, those movies, I should say. But I know they're basically about a bunch of strippers. I'm sure if you're a big Magic Mike fan, you know, getting mad, going, you can't boil it down to just that. I'm sure it has a bunch of heart and a bunch of love and a bunch of emotion. I totally get it. But the point is, he did an interview and somebody asked him about the physique he has to maintain for that role, and he said it wasn't natural or healthy.
If I worked out and looked like that, I would put it up everywhere.
That might be the reason why I didn't want to do a third one, is because I have to look like that.
So you don't work out regularly all the time?
No, but it's hard to look like, even if you do work out, to be that kind of in shape is not, it's not natural.
Now, Channing discussed this when he appeared on the Kelly Clarkson show recently, and I want to make it very clear before we get into all of it. When he says natural or healthy, he was referring to the fact that you shouldn't be walking around in that kind of shape 365 days a year, 7 days a week, because it's really difficult. Now, I am not saying he may not have taken some other special sources. We don't know. As we have discussed on this channel before, there are many other YouTubers, fitness YouTubers, who discuss that more in detail than I. But ultimately, the way I like to approach this stuff is, if you just don't give a flub to begin with, you can't be caught short by this stuff and go, oh, I look like Channing Tatum. Doesn't matter whether he is taking or what he isn't taking. You focus on you, and remember, the gym is a competition with yourself. But even if we do remove special source out of the equation, I actually think this is quite a good message. In fact, Channing actually said one of the reasons he didn't want to do a third in the sequel, the trilogy, whatever the hell we're calling about, that was gibberish that came out of my mouth, is because getting into that kind of shape is basically an absolutely nuts way to try and live your life. I mean, he even said that might be the reason why I didn't want to do a third one, because I have to look like that. It's hard to look like that. Even if you do work out, to be in that kind of shape is not natural. That's not even healthy. You have to starve yourself. I don't think when you're that lean, it's actually healthy. And he also went on to say, I don't know how people who work a 9 to 5 actually stay in shape, because it's my full-time job and I can barely do it. Tatum also revealed that in preparation for the role, he works out twice a day for 2 months and eats completely right. However, he misses salt. He cut sodium out of his diet entirely. Just everything tastes like, I don't know, tastes like water. It's nothing. Now, I take umbrage with that, because you can get in super duper shape and look absolutely amazing eating food that is nice. Dun, dun, dun. I know, it sounds absolutely crazy, but you can. I mean, you could also have salt in your diet. I mean, not necessarily if you're going to have a photo shoot or do some kind of movie when you need to look lean, because of course sodium will draw water into your muscles. It may make you a little bit bloated, blah, blah, blah. We don't have to worry about it. But that doesn't mean throughout this whole 2-month process you couldn't have a little bit of salt, but taste especially. But I think the major message you should take away from this is exactly that. Getting in crazy kind of shape is hard. And if we look at a picture of Channing Tatum, which is on the screen right now, from Magic Mike, I would probably argue that's quite attainable, because he's super duper lean, but he's not carrying a huge amount of muscle mass. Now, people always go crazy when I say this. I'm not saying he doesn't look muscular. Of course he does. But when you compare it to someone like The Rock, or you compare it to Chris Hemsworth as Thor, obviously he's not as bulky as those guys, and that just, you know, brings up a whole different kettle of fish. But the point is, even if you want to walk around, I mean, I don't know what percentage body fat he is there. You have to go watch Greg Doucette, because he has laser eyes and he can figure out what people's body fat percentages are just by looking at them. But it's going to be quite low, right? He is shredded. I think we can all agree on that. And if you are on a quest for abs right now and a magic genie offered you to look like that, you would probably say, yes, magic genie, where do I sign? What do I have to do? Oh, genie, I love you. You'd also only have 2 more wishes, because of course one of your wishes would to be have massive abs. But if Channing Tatum, who will have a dedicated team and a nutritionist and being paid millions and millions of dollars, which is a great motivator, to get in that kind of shape, is telling you that it's really hard and probably not natural, make sure you take this information and store it in your head. Not because Channing Tatum has said it, but it's just yet more evidence that that's the case. Now, it's always going to be different to some people. Some people are going to be able to be quite lean and live a more fruitful life than others. Like some people, even when they get down to 11, 10%, like, oh man, I'm so tired all the time, because that's just not your chemical makeup. But as he said, if you've got a job and you've got financial problems and you've got a relationship and you've got kids and who knows what else, it's going to be even more of a struggle, because you have to balance life. And this is why you can't make it the be all and end all. I know we're going off here, but it's true. If you make it the be all and the end all, even when you do look super duper good, you ain't going to think you look super duper good, because that's not how we're built as humans. We're always looking for the negative. You're looking at your deltoid going, man, that deltoid is absolutely crap. What am I going to do? And you will slap yourself around the face. So you've achieved nothing. I mean, you have, but you are not seeing it. And this certainly isn't me saying that you shouldn't strive to get in this kind of shape, or you shouldn't try to have abs, or, you know, if you're training for a competition, you should be scared of getting to, what, you know, 6'5", 4% body fat, whatever it may be, depending on what you're trying to do. I think the mental game when it comes to lifting weights and bodybuilding is the hardest part of all of it, right? And if you go into anything understanding that this is going to be quite the endeavor, and you actually may get to a point where you do need to put on the reverse brake and go back a little bit, that's just going to help you massively. Because most people think, well, I'm going to eat well, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to take all of these supplements, and in 6 months' time, I'll look absolutely amazing. But sometimes that isn't the case. So make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, right? Abs are great, right? Everyone loves abs. Abs are amazing. Oh my gosh, you've got abs. You're a better human being than I. But are you going to be able to walk around looking like that for the rest of your life? Probably not. Because if you did have that kind of genetics, you'd probably kind of look like it now, because that all ties in together. So I like it when people come out and talk like this. His use of the term not natural, I mean, maybe he's doing a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and he wants to let people know because he wants to send out the right message, but obviously he can't talk about it as transparently as I suppose maybe he would like, because that would just bring down the whole system, and that's going to affect other actors, blah, blah. We've talked about that before as well. But even then, take natural, throw away the drug. Take natural for what it means. Natural means walking around with the fairies in La La Land, right? What we do every single day. I mean, nobody does that unless you're on, I don't know, LSD or something. But the point is, some people, right, have 13, 14% body fat and they look pretty damn good. They look athletic and they have muscles, blah, blah, blah. But they're like, man, I need to look better. I was like, no, you don't. You can just stick with this. Again, unless you're training for something specifically. But in terms of what you want to look like walking around, that is absolutely fine. But people don't think it's fine. And I include myself in that too. 9 times out of 10, not in a bad way, not like it keeps me up at night going, oh, I can't believe it. I hate the way I look. Like, I genuinely do not like it. Again, not in the way that I beat myself up. I'm like, well, how can I better this and how can I better that? But ultimately, this, is probably going to be the way that I look, bar a few little things that I can change. Either, I put on some muscle, whatever muscle I can do, or I lose some body fat. Although, to be saying that, given my age, I'm an old man now, I'm not super old, but I'm in my mid-30s, there's only going to be so much more muscle that I can put on, because that's just unfortunately how life works. You get this awesome muscle building period from when you're like, 20 to... well, probably till about 33, 34, I would guess. I mean, it depends on you, obviously, much better in your 20s. And then, look, I don't want to make this whole morbid, but as we move towards the end, look, let's just sum it up this way. When you're born, you start dying. Now, you shouldn't look at it that way, because it's going to drive yourself crazy, but it's true. And that comes down to how much muscle you can build and all these kind of things. Not the same for everybody, of course. We are all different. But I think if you've got a guy like Channing Tatum coming out, who, again, has every single possible advantage to looking good, and even he's like, man, this sucks. Well, it probably means that at times it's going to suck. So what you need to do is find a way to enjoy the gym, find a way to enjoy fitness, find a way to enjoy how you look. Don't give it up. Don't become complacent. Always find a way to be intense and find a way to achieve your goals. But even if you don't get there, or you do get there, you're not particularly happy, just treat it's your lifestyle, right? It's your lifestyle. This is what you do, because being healthy and fit and having a good old healthy heart is the most important thing. And then everything else you get on top of that, well, that sounds like a bonus. So yes, there you go. Channing Tatum. I did have the name of the new movie coming out. It seems only fair to talk about it. Where is it? I've lost it because I'm an absolute idiot. It's called like Mike Goes to Dreamland or something like that. No, it's called Magic Mike's Last Dance. But listen, I don't know who makes that movie. Magic Mike's Dreamland is a lot better than Magic Mike's Last Dance. So if you do want to call it that, I would 100% support it. But again, I've never seen those movies, so I can't really talk about it. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Hit the bell ding ding so you know other videos are going live. There is another video on the screen, or there will be in a few seconds. Please do give it a click. Stuff that I actually think will help you on your fitness journey. Gorilla'Mind.com/Simon. Big fan of all of those products, all those supplements. I use them. Going to do a video soon to show the ones I do use, to prove that I do use them. And it's not just me talking out of my ass. Also, Greg Doucette's Power 13 cookbook. I'm in that, as is a bunch of other people, including Greg Doucette. Again, going back to the diet. You can eat well and you can eat nice. It doesn't have to taste like water or nothing, whatever the hell Mr. Magic Mike said. Also on Twitter and Instagram at Simon316. Please do give me a follow. Patreon.com/Simon316 if you want to support that way. Also on Cameo if you want to shout out. Simon.bigcartel.com for merch. And I believe that is everything. Thank you much for joining me today. Shout out to Channing Tatum. Don't know why, but we used his quotes. And to Kelly Clarkson, because that's where all this came from. I'll see you soon.